me drop it.
So I did a lot of stupid things when I worked at the theater. I probably shouldn't say it like that. The dumbest thing I ever did while working at a movie theater is I locked our only keys to the crane machine inside the crane machine. At the theater, what I had to do every Thursday is we inventoried the amount of plush that we had inside the crane machine. Well, these group of people just left their theater. They were on their way to get refills, and this was the kind of classy place where you needed to go up to the counter, and the counter will get your refill for you. Well, I had one closer at the time, and the closer was busy cleaning the popcorn popper, so I decided that I'm gonna go back behind the counter and get the refill for these customers. But the kids were really eyeing that plush, so I lock the crane game really quickly and go over there and get the refills, and then I come back and I have my clipboard, but then I'm looking for the keys, and then I see the keys on the door just past the glass on the inside of the crane machine. So I look for keys and I can't find any extra keys. I call my boss, the general manager of the theater, and then I have to confess to him that I locked our crane game keys inside the crane game, and here I think he's gonna get all upset. But he's actually rather chill about it. He's just like, well, why don't you call our sister theater and see if they have any keys for us? And I'm like, okay. So I call up this other theater thinking I'm gonna have to confess to them the stupid thing that I did, just locking our only keys inside the crane machine. But the other theater seemed pretty chill about it too. So when I called the theater, they answered the phone and I asked, is this a manager I'm talking to? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, do you happen to have the yellow crane machine that has the big door that swings open? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, oh, my name is Brad. I'm actually a manager at a sister location up north. And then they're like, oh, okay, what can I do for you? So I find out they have an extra pair. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna work it out with my general manager. Maybe I can swing over and I can go pick those up. So I call my manager back and I'm like, good news, they have the keys we need. And then my manager is like, all right, well, our area manager, the one who is in charge of 13 locations, is going to actually be at that theater tomorrow. Why don't you ask if they can pick them up and drop them off to us? And I'm like, okay. So then I have to call my area manager and confess to him that I locked our only crane game keys inside the crane machine, and that I needed him to pick up the keys at another location, drop them off to us, and then bring them back to them. So the area manager picks up his phone and I explain the situation to him, thinking that he's going to chew me out for locking the crane game keys inside the crane machine. But he doesn't. He also seems very chill about the whole situation of like, oh yeah, these things happen. I'll go pick them up, no problem. So we get the keys out the next day and everything goes fine, except for a few years later. The corporate was changing warehouses, so I volunteered to help move stuff from one warehouse to the other. While moving things over, I noticed that they had some of the extra crane games there. So I just happened to ask the warehouse manager while we were at lunch, like, do you happen to have any extra keys? And this guy is a former Marine drill sergeant, and it showed in this exact moment. He blew up. He's like, why? Why are you asking? You wouldn't be asking unless something happened. What happened? Why are you asking? He's like, did you lose the keys? And I'm like, no, we didn't lose the keys. Then what happened? At that moment, I got lucky because his supervisor came in and started talking to him about another thing, and he walked away for 30 minutes. When he came back, he was right back into it. You still haven't told me what happened to your crane game keys. So I tell him that a few years ago, they accidentally got locked inside the crane game and we didn't have any extra keys to get them out. He throws his arms up in the air of all the stupid things, and then he goes on for about 30 minutes on that. Like, we got back to work and we're moving stuff and he's still going off. I was not invited back to work at that warehouse again.